Hi, yogi friends. So glad you're here to practice with me today. Let's jump right in and get started and get warmed up. It's chilly here where I am today, so let's get moving. First of all, come into your easy seat, close the eyes, take notice of the breath. Notice those points in the body where you are grounded into the surface beneath you, those points in the feet, the ankles, the legs, the bum. Let gravity do its work there. Draw attention to the spine. Lengthen it up from within the pelvis all the way up through the back, the neck, and the crown. Allow the shoulders to relax. And draw the attention to your breath. Just notice the pacing of the breath and the depth of the breath first. And then let's take a full belly inhale, maybe even putting the hands on the abdomen, feeling it expand with the inhale, lifting up through the collarbone slightly as we fill the lungs, and then exhaling fully and completely, drawing the navel toward the spine to completely express that exhale. Once again, big full belly inhale. And a full and complete exhale. One more time. We'll take one more big full inhale and then we'll chant Om together to open our practice. Om. When you feel ready, you gently open the eyes. Let's begin our warm-ups by lifting hands up above the head, interlacing the fingers and pressing the palms up toward the ceiling, really lifting through the palms, through the spine, through the crown, but allowing the shoulders to relax away from the ears. And just think of lengthening up, stretching the body toward the sky. Let's take that into a twist to one side, allowing the front arm to relax on the thigh or the knee, back arm behind the bum. Lengthen up on the inhale, glance over that back shoulder on the exhale. And then we'll raise the arms back up to center as we come to the middle and then turn and twist to the opposite side. Lengthen up through the crown in the inhale, tall spine, and then as we exhale, glance over that back shoulder. Take notice here of the hands. Make sure you're not pressing yourself into this twist. Use those midsection muscles to do the twisting here. And as we come back to center, let's raise the arms back up again over the head. And then bring fingertips down on either side of us. Let's make some really large circles with the shoulders here. So inhaling as we lift up, exhaling as we draw the hands down. Really opening through the shoulders here. If you feel any pinching or any pain, then you're going to want to make your shoulders a little, or your circles just a little less dramatic. And listen to your body. If it's telling you that these are not the best for you, you can always make them smaller. Just do what works best for you today. And then let's reverse those circles. Whatever size they are, just reverse them. And notice how it feels different to move the arms in this direction than it did to move them in the opposite way. One more circle with the arms here, and let's lower fingertips down to the side. Lengthen them out about 12 inches on either side of the body. And then we're going to begin to twist the torso and let the arms, then the neck and face just follow. So just twisting here. This is really great for the alignment of the spine. Remember to keep the spine tall. Begin to raise the arms up to shoulder height. Notice how that changes the feeling in the back. And then we'll take the palms and face them toward the sky here and begin to raise the arms up toward the ceiling. And they can come into a wide V or a little closer, narrow V. You decide what feels best for your body. And then we'll slowly begin to bring them back down, all the way back down onto the mat on either side with the fingertips. From here, we're going to begin a pendulum movement from side to side. And the only curvature in the spine here is toward the side. We don't want to be curving forward or back. So keep that in mind. Pressing that opposite hip down as we tip to one side. Let's take one arm overhead here. Lengthen up first and then lengthen over. And take the hip that's opposite this extended hand and really press it into the mat so you can extend. Feel that extension in the side body, increasing that stretch a bit. And then let's lower that arm. We'll lift the opposite arm up above the shoulder. Think of lifting up first and then over to the side. And remembering to press that hip, opposite hip from the lifted arm down into the mat to really lengthen through that side body. Let's bring a little bit quicker pace to that same stretch. Remembering that when we are extending the body, we are inhaling, and when we are contracting the body, we're exhaling. One more on each side, and then we'll come back to center. And from here, let's extend the arms, fingertips directly out from the shoulders. Bring the fingertips in and extend. And this may seem like a real simple movement, but what we're doing here is we're wanting to press away with the hands and the fingertips so that we're using effort, and then pull the fingertips and hands back toward the shoulders. So again, using effort here, and as if we're flexing the biceps as we come in and really pressing out with the fingers as we go out. So we're using effort in the arms in these movements to really warm up the shoulders and the arms. Let's drop the elbows, drop the hands, bring the hands right out in front of the shoulders and make loose fists, and do some circling of the wrists here, because we're going to spend a little time on the hands today. And then reverse those circles. This can help to warm up the forearms and get those wrists ready to support us. And then let's drop the hands down. Let's come into our tabletop position. And we're going to do some warming up here. Make sure the fingers are spread nice and wide, pressing into the fingertips and the pad of the thumb. Make sure that the crown and the tail are in a straight line. Knees directly under the hips, feet directly behind the knees. Let's drop the belly as we raise the crown and tail into our cow position. If you want to rock a little forward and back here, that might feel nice. And then we'll take that spine and curve it up toward the ceiling, drawing the navel up, pressing into the base of the palms and the tops of the feet. And we'll give a little rock here too, if that feels nice. Listen to what your body says about what feels nice and what does not. And let's come back to center again, dropping the belly, raising the crown and the tail, and drawing navel up to spine as you curve the spine toward the ceiling. Drop the belly into your cow. Raise the spine up into your cat. And come back to center. We're going to do some hip circles here. First of all, we'll just open the hips up a slight bit. So press the left hip out to the left side and look over the over the right shoulder. Look back at the right heel and just feel the stretch on the outside of that left hip. Come back to center. Press the right hip out to the right side. Look back over the left shoulder to the left heel. And notice how it might feel different in the hip on this side of the body. And then from here, come back to center. Press the hips out to the left. Bring the weight of the body back toward the heels so that the hips just graze across the tops of the heels. And then press the hip out to the opposite side, hips out to the opposite side, and come forward into tabletop. So we're making big circles with the hips here. Circling around, taking the weight of the body back, crossing over the heels, and bringing the weight of the body forward onto the hands again. And you can do this at whatever pace feels best for you. Next time you're up in tabletop, we're going to reverse those circles, taking the hips to the opposite side, across the heels, and weight of the body forward. One more big circle with the hips here. And we'll come back to our tabletop. From here, let's extend the front arm, the right arm out in front, the left arm out in back. And just hold here for a moment. Drawing the navel up to support the spine. And then we'll drop that hand back down, bring that knee back down. Lengthen the left arm out in front of the left shoulder. Extend the right leg out behind the right hip. Draw the navel up to support the spine. Grip into those fingertips that are on the floor. And then we'll bring that leg, knee, and hand back down. Let's spread the knees as wide as the mat. Bring the big toes to touch one another. And lengthen the hands out in front. And just come into a wide-legged child's pose here and relax the forehead down onto the mat. If the forehead doesn't quite reach the mat, you can always bring a block under the forehead and let that forehead rest on the block. Let's stay in this wide-legged pose as we bring the weight back up onto the hands and knees. And we're going to thread the needle here. So bring the left palm to rest on the mat right in front of the face, below the face. And then take the right hand inside the left arm, draw it across the inside of the left arm, across the chest, and lengthen it out either to the side, or if you have the mobility in the shoulder, you might lengthen it up toward the ceiling. And hold here in this wide-legged twist, feeling how this feels on the body. And then we're going to take this arm that's extended out above and thread it through between the hand and the knee that are on the ground, and then just slide it over to the side so that we can bring the weight of the upper body onto the outside of that right shoulder and the right ear or side of the head. Now this left arm, you may want to leave it right in front of the head. You may want to bring that left hand and let it rest right at the small of the back. If you want to extend the stretch into that shoulder, you could bring, if your body allows, the left hand just inside the crease of the right hip so that it's the whole left arm is across the back. You decide where it feels best for you today. And really feel the opening in the back side of the shoulder and then the side of the neck. And then bring that left hand to rest in front of the face and draw the navel up to help lift your torso up, pressing into that left palm. Let's extend the right arm up again once more. And then we'll bring the right hand down and place it right in front of the face so that we can do this, thread the needle on the opposite side. So this time we're going to take the left hand just inside the right wrist, really gripping into those right fingers. Draw the left hand across the inside of the right arm, across the chest. Lengthen out through the left fingertips up above the shoulder or off to the side if you need to. Holding here for a moment, remembering to grip into those fingertips on the mat. And then we're going to take this left arm that's extended and thread it between the palm that's on the mat and the knee. And then we're going to rest the head on the left side of the ear, left side of the head, and decide where it's best to place your right hand. Small of the back, right in front of the head on the floor, maybe all the way across the back to rest in the crease of the left hip, the front of the left hip. And you just decide what's best. For today, it might feel good to do it one way on this side and you did it a different way on the other side. So just listen to your body. Lengthen that right arm back up toward the sky. Bring the right palm in front of the face. Draw the navel in. Press back up. And let's lift that left arm back up toward the sky again in a bit of a twist. And bring the hands down. And from here, bring the knees close to one another. And come up onto the toes behind you. We're going to do a bit of a foot stretch here. So we're just going to press back, bringing the weight of the body onto or close to the heels. And we're up on the toes. So this is really stretching the bottom of the foot, stretching the toes. Really kind of can be intense. So if you need to come up onto the knees at some point, just to give a little rest to the feet, you can. And you can come back down onto the toes and give them a little more opening, lengthening up through the spine here. Let's come back to our tabletop, first of all, allowing the feet to relax. Maybe moving the palms one palm's length forward and then coming up onto the toes into our down dog. So we're lifting the hips up toward the sky. The fingertips are really gripping into our mat. And we're lengthening the crown toward the front of the mat. We're lifting that tailbone up as if it were pointing toward the crease between the wall and the ceiling behind us. Pedaling the feet here to warm up those calves, stretching out the Achilles, allowing space between the shoulders and the ears here. And then let's come to stillness with the feet and bring the toes just slightly closer together so that the heels can open a little wider, and you'll notice a change in the sensation in the back of the legs when you do that move. And then from here, let's raise the leg, the right leg, so that there's a diagonal line from the heel to the hip, hip to shoulder of the right arm and shoulder to palm. And then we're going to bring the weight forward, coming up onto the toes and the ball of the left foot. Bring the weight forward onto the hands and bring that right knee as close as we can to the chest. So curving the back there slightly to bring that knee in. Then let's extend the leg again. One-legged down dog. We're going to draw the knee forward again, the right knee really close to the chest, really working the abdominal muscles here. Lengthen out once more. Bring that right knee really close to the chest. Lengthen out once more, and then bring that right foot down into our down dog once again. And then we're going to switch. Let's lift the left leg, diagonal line from the left heel to the left hip to left shoulder to left palm. From here, we're going to bring the weight forward, bringing us onto the ball of the foot and the toes of the back leg. Bringing that knee, left knee, super close to the chest. And then we'll extend back out again into our one-legged down dog. Let's bring the weight forward. Bring that left knee super close to the chest. And then press back out into our down dog, extending the leg once more. Bring that left knee super close to the chest, dome the back. And then we'll extend once more into our one-legged down dog and then lower that leg. From here, let's walk forward into a forward fold. Just move those feet forward to meet the hands. Hanging here gently, rocking a little from side to side. Maybe shaking the head, yes and no a little bit. Releasing a little tension in the neck there. And then we'll rise up, lifting hands above the shoulders. Little back bend up here at the top. Maybe we even open the arms. I like to think of this almost like a bird opening wings. Really spreading the wings, opening up the chest, the shoulders, and bringing the hands, forearms, and elbows slightly back behind the shoulders to really open up the front body. And then we'll raise those arms back up above the shoulders, diving forward into our forward fold again. And lengthening through the back of the legs. If you need a bend in the knees here, take it. You can even let the torso rest on the thighs. If you want to bring the legs a little straighter and that works for you, do that. Let's take the right foot, extend the right toes as far behind you as you can, and then bring them down to the mat. Lower the right knee and the top of the right foot. And from here, we're going to place that right palm just inside the left foot, about 6 inches or so. Left hand to the outside of the left ankle. Notice where the knee and the ankle are on the left foot or left leg. The knee should be right above the ankle. Take that left palm, draw it across the outside of the left calf, and then lengthen it up above the shoulder or out to the side, depending upon the flexibility in your shoulder today. Take notice of the left knee and hip and ankle. We want them to be on one plane, so we don't want anything popping out to one side or another. Let's bring that left hand down, and then we're going to bring the weight of the body back as we roll up onto the front heel, not ankle, front heel. And then if you'd like to bring some blocks in here, this is a great place to have your blocks under the hands, which really allows you to lengthen through the back of the body and will intensify the stretch on that leg just a little bit. Really feel the length in the back of your left leg. Again, we want the right hip and the right knee to be just in line with one another so that the right hip isn't popped out to the side. And think of drawing your toes up to point toward your nose. Holding here for a moment, and then we'll roll back forward onto that foot. So we're coming back into this low lunge again, moving the blocks off to the side. Let's bring the hands to rest on the knee first. See how this feels for you. And then if it feels like it's stable, then raise the arms up above the shoulders. And lengthen up through the crown here, lengthen through the fingertips. Relax those shoulders away from the ears. Think of gently pulling the left hip back. That will keep the hips in alignment usually. Maybe you look toward the sky. Bring the hands down to frame the front foot. Come up onto the back toes so that the back knee is off the ground. And we're going to bring this front foot back to meet the back foot in our plank. Gripping into the fingers here, nice straight line from crown to heels. Let's lower the knees. Bring the bum back to the heels so that the arms are then extended out in front. And then we're going to bring the weight forward through a tabletop and keep the elbows super close to the body as we lower the chin and the chest to the floor. Our bum is still up in the air. Let's lengthen the legs out behind us. Again, keeping elbows super close to the ribs. Press into the base of the palms. Lift up into a cobra. And it could be a baby cobra today. Lower the body back down. Now you decide. Press up either into a tabletop or into a plank. And come into your down dog again. Pedaling the feet a bit. Raise that right leg just slightly off the floor. We're going to bring the weight forward again. Do that same move with the knee. Bring it super close to the chest. And then take 1 or 2 steps and bring that foot forward between the hands. Lower the back knee and top of the back foot. If you'd like to bring blocks in here to lengthen up, you can. Front knee over front ankle. Lengthen through the crown here. Blocks off to the side if you're using them, palms or fingertips on the floor. Come up onto the back toes and leave a little bend in that back knee so you can have some momentum to lift that back foot and bring it forward into your forward fold. Taking a little sway here from side to side. And then let's lengthen back up into a tall stretch. And again, open those wings, bending the elbows, bringing the elbows, the forearms and the hands back slightly behind the shoulders. Lengthen back up through the fingertips and then bring hands into prayer position. Let's take a moment to close the eyes here. Feel the energy that you've generated, that you've got moving about the body. Notice the breath, notice the heartbeat. Now let's start our next round on the other side. Lengthen arms up above shoulders. Dive forward into that forward fold. Little sway here from side to side or shake of the head if that feels good to you. Lift the left foot, take those left toes back as far as you can and then bring them down to the mat. Lower that left knee, top of the left foot. Notice the front right knee should be right above the ankle. If you want to bring blocks in here to give you some more length, go ahead and do that. Lengthening through the crown. We're going to bring our left hand down about 6 inches inside the right arch so that we can come into our twist. So we want to take the right hand just outside the right ankle, draw it across the ankle, across the calf, and then lift it up above the right shoulder or out to the side if that's what works for your body today. Listen to what you need. And let's bring that hand down. We'll frame the foot with the hands. And then we'll come onto the fingertips and bring the weight of the body back as we roll onto the heel of that front foot. Again, a great place to bring your blocks into your practice here so you can create more length through the back body, through the spine. And again, the left hip may tend to want to pop out to the left side. We want to bring it in alignment with the left knee and the left ankle, all in one plane. Think of reaching those front toes toward your nose and lengthening from crown to tail. This can be intense in the back of the leg. If you need a little bend in that right knee, give it to yourself. Roll forward onto that right foot again. Notice again where the alignment is. If the alignment has gotten out of place, go ahead and realign knee over ankle. And with this low lunge, we're going to bring hands first to the top of the knee. And if it feels steady and ready, then you can lift the arms up above the shoulders and think again of pressing into that right heel and drawing the left hip just ever so slightly back. That really keeps the hips aligned. Lifting up, looking up toward the ceiling if you like, and then bringing hands to frame the front foot. Come up onto the back toes. Bring the front foot back to meet the back foot in our plank. Dome through the shoulders here. Grip into the fingertips. Lengthen through the crown. Bring knees to touch the mat. Bum back toward the heels. And then we'll bring the weight of the body forward, keeping elbows super close to the ribs as we lower chin and chest to the floor. Lengthen those legs out behind us. Ribs, our elbows again close to the ribs. And press up using the base of the palms to press up into your cobra, whatever size cobra you like. And this time again, decide tabletop or plank to your down dog. Maybe a little pedal of the feet there. Lengthen through the crown so that there's space between shoulders and ears. Lift the back leg just slightly. The back leg, the left leg. Lift the left leg just slightly. And then bring that left knee super close to the chest. Dome the back. Bring the weight onto the hands. And use 1 or 2 steps to bring that left foot forward. Lowering the right knee and the top of the right foot. If you want to have your blocks here in this low lunge to give you more length up, go right ahead and do that. Lengthen through the spine, out through the crown. Place those blocks over to the sides of the mat. Come up onto those back toes. Fingertips on either side of the front foot. Little bend in the back knee, and use that momentum to bring that foot forward in 1 or 2 steps into your forward folds. Really letting gravity do the work here with pulling the head toward the feet. And you might even experiment with moving the weight slowly toward the balls of the feet and just seeing how that changes the sensation in the back of the legs. Then coming back into the heels with the weight, lifting up tall through the fingertips. Let's do those wide open wing arms again. Then lift up with the arms and bring the hands back down to prayer position. Closing the eyes once more here. Just noticing again the energy that you've stirred up in the body, that you've gotten moving. Noticing the heartbeat and the breathing. And then from here, we're going to slowly and gently bring ourselves down onto our backs. And before we get all the way down to the back, let's come into a Dandasana where the legs are extended directly out in front of us. And we'll just do a little bit of work to get down to our backs so we get a little added benefit. So let's lengthen those legs out in front. First of all, lengthen arms up. We're going to do a seated forward fold here just for fun. Coming forward from the hips, maybe we reach the toes, maybe we just reach either side of the legs. And just lengthening from crown to tail here. And then we'll sit back up tall, bring the hands to clasp in front in a steeple grip. So pointer fingers are extended and other fingers are clasped. From here, really draw the navel in, and we're going to roll down slowly to our position on our back. Slowly rolling, using the abdominal muscles to hold us up so that we can come slowly. That's a bit of a challenge. So do what you can today. Let's bring the soles of the feet to touch the mat, to be flat on the mat. And then we're going to just rock the knees over to one side, both of them at the same time. And then we'll come back to center and rock them to the opposite side. And you can continue to do this back and forth move. It gives a little bit of a massage to that low back. And can feel pretty nice on the sacrum as well. Let's do once more on each side. And then we're going to lengthen the legs out in front of us, coming into our full Shavasana here. And just allowing the hands to relax, arms to relax on either side of the body. Take a scan starting from your toes up through the feet, the legs, the hips, the torso, all the way up to the shoulders. moving down to fingertips, up through the hands, the forearms, elbows, upper arms and shoulders. Let the weight of gravity just pull the shoulders toward the mat without any effort. Just allow it to relax and let go. And draw attention to the upper shoulders, the neck, the back of the head, the skull, the jaw, where we often hold tension. Let's part the lips just slightly so that you can open that jaw. Notice the cheeks, the lips, the nose, the eyes and eye sockets, the temples, the forehead. Allowing all muscles across the face, the neck, the head to just let go. And finally settling the attention on that space right between the eyebrows, letting that relax and release. We're going to be here in Shavasana for a couple of minutes. If thoughts come to mind, just let them pass through without attachment or judgment. And just be here and breathe. I'll let you know when it's time to come back to full awareness. Let's begin to bring a little movement to the fingertips and toes. Maybe making circles with the ankles and the wrists, moving the hips from side to side. Lengthen the arms up above the shoulders and do a full body stretch here. And then let's turn over onto one side, keeping the eyes closed and pillowing the head with the arm. Take one full breath cycle here on your side with the eyes still closed. And then we'll continue to keep eyes closed, pressing ourselves up with the hands. And coming into our comfortable seated position. If you're like me and you need a little rolled up blanket or towel behind the tailbone to help you sit tall, then grab that. And with eyes still closed, we're just going to come into this easy seat and take notice of how it feels to sit in this position now versus when we first came to the mat for practice. Notice any differences in the physical sensations, the level of comfort or discomfort, any sensations in the body, numbing, tingling, numbness, energy, flow. Notice the spine, lengthening it up. How does it feel to sit with a tall spine now versus when we first started? Let's take a big full belly breath. Inhale together and chant Om on the exhale. Take notice of any shifts in how it feels to close the practice with that same chant we began with. And notice any shift in the state of mind or the state of the emotions. If there's been one, just notice. Let's bring the hands together at prayer position at the heart. And then bring that prayer position up to the forehead so that the thumbs rest there on the forehead. May we have peace in our thoughts. Then lowering the thumbs to the lips, may we have peace in our words. And finally, settling back down at the heart space, may we have peace in our hearts. The light in me recognizes and honors the light in you, and I bow as I say Namaste. Thank you so much for being here to practice with me today and for taking this time to take good care of yourself. I do hope that this practice has brought some peace and tranquility into your life, and that you can now take that and spread it into the world as you go about your day. Can't wait to practice with you again soon. Thanks for being here. Namaste.